Hey guys, I'm Chris.
What's going on, Nick?
So today's episode.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So we.
Yeah.
Well, okay. He's 100% MCU fanatic.
Marvel.
I love the MCU.
Marvel?
I hadn't seen Spiderman Far From Home yet. So we just watched it.
So good.
It's fantastic. I loved it. So right off the bat, I'm just going to get this out there. I had doubts about Zendaya portraying MJ.
No.
But I ended up loving her.
She did such
MJ.
a good job. Oh.
It's obviously not the same MJ. Obviously.
Right.
It's not the same MJ.
But it's not the same...
Which is fine.
Jameson. Spoiler alert. It could be somebody who hasn't seen it. I'm just saying, especially guys that jump to the end. Because I'm still... We'll get to it because it's at the end. But those two ending cutscenes, they're like two other movies. They're like, oh, here's Spider-Man, the greatest tail end to Phase 3 ever, and then we're gonna go, what the? And then they're gonna give you a few minutes, let you just think, going, did they just really? They just did, but then, and so on. But the two
You're right that it's not the same Jameson because in this particular one he's actually bald. Well, and he's really going out of his way
and he's
to.
Not, the big thing is he's not he's not in like traditional news. He's in like an
right
like some of those really conspiracy theorist type anti-government type channels, and I think.
Well, that's what he becomes. Oh God, what actual comic is it? In one of the comics, Jameson is actually like a solid dude, but he really, really tries to hold people accountable to everything, and he doesn't let anyone slide with anything, which is why he never believes anyone, really. He never believes any hero. He never believes anything, which is why he constantly tries to...
updated it,
Oh, yeah. No, that totally worked.
Okay, getting way ahead of ourselves. Backing up to the beginning of this glorious film. This jewel. I don't even know how to describe it because it's like, for the longest time, I was like, Endgame is Endgame. I mean, that movie is like...
Yeah, you can't...
And then I was like, you're giving us another movie?
Yeah. And
before this movie came out...
Sorry, I'm looking at my glasses. I had something on.
I was so afraid that they were going to go pre-blip.
No.
I know they couldn't, but here's what... Because
why do you think that?
Well, because it was an idea that was being thrown around. Because
but as soon
Infinity War.
Well, here's the thing: as soon as you see the first trailer, that whole idea should be out the window.
This was like when it was announced. No trailer had been announced because what they were thinking was, it was a really cool tie-in. They were like they could do it pre-snap, and everyone was like, "What? How? Like, why would you?"
The way you could do it would be somehow
Infinity War.
No, it wouldn't be Infinity War.
Yeah, because they're coming back from the bus, back in the town. So it could have been whatever happened right before, like on that trip, and then as he's returning back to the city, that's when Infinity War.
Well, yeah, you could do that. You could do that. Well, what I was gonna say was that you have to have it literally happen right after the first one.
But everyone was right. There is no way you go pre-blip.
Well, not only that.
Can we talk about that? That is so... I don't know why I find that so fascinating. We all call it the snap in, society. But in the MCU, They call it the blip.
Yeah.
That... I don't know why. I don't know if that was
I don't know why you love it so much, but...
I don't know why. Well, because I'm just like if like the writers or like if somebody had that idea, like we can't call it what everyone is calling it because that wouldn't be what they necessarily would call it.
Yeah, I guess, but you have to remember that... No, but you have to remember that the people who had seen Thanos do it all remember him doing this. And they'd be the ones to explain it to the masses.
Who saw him snap? Everybody was down.
No.
The only person that was up was Thor.
Oh, dang.
Nobody, and there's nobody there.
Well, also, Gamora was the one... Oh, but all of them were gone, too.
Yeah, they're all... Gamora was dead at that point.
Well, Gamora was dead, and all the Galaxy Guardians were gone. They were gone in the snap.
They were gone in the snap?
Except for... why can I never remember Gamora's sister's name?
And neither can I.
Oh, and you're the MCU one.
I know.
How dare you? How dare you?
You know what the problem is? I had this problem last time I was talking about her. I always forget her name, and I love that actress because
she's so good.
She was in Doctor Who. Good. And that's where I know her from. Was from Doctor. She was one of the...
Well, remember, she's also in Jumanji.
Oh my goodness.
How do you not know that that's the same actress?
I know it, but it's not my first thought. My first thought is Doctor Who.
Okay. Admittedly, I haven't seen it. No one hate me for that. But...
I wasn't, telling them to do it.
But... Oh my God. They're going to hate us for this, that we can't remember her name.
Oh, we're still on that. I thought we were just...
I'm still trying to freaking think of it. I can't remember, and it's pissing me off.
It'll come to me in 20 minutes.
Yeah, when we're talking about something entirely different.
I'll be like, that one.
But no, they did everything. Everything about this movie was just done right.
There's even two of them in Endgame.
Well, and here's
now I'm...
Yeah, now you're going back. What was so good... Here's something that I really liked about this movie. The concept of Spider-Man, the concept of Mysterio, the concept of MJ, all these different characters were handled not with kid gloves, but with people who understood and understand what these characters are supposed to be. You know what I mean? They completely understand who Peter Parker and Spider-Man are supposed to be. They completely understand.
And he plays them both.
Oh.
Good job, Tom Holland.
What's the guy that you love watching?
Kevin Smith?
Kevin Smith. As Kevin Smith said, this is how I thought for the longest time, too. And then I actually watched a video of Kevin Smith saying this. But with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, you got the quintessential Peter Parker. It was a movie about Peter Parker. It wasn't Spider-Man's movie.
That's true.
And then with Garfield, you got the quintessential Spider-Man, the snippy, smart alecky, Spider-Man. That was Spider-Man's movie. Yeah. And Peter Parker was all of a sudden too cool for school and all that BS that made no sense to me.
I like it.
And then... Yeah, but those... I do too, but I don't like those particular movies.
I love those movies.
I like all the Spider-Man parts. The movie as a whole, though, I don't like. Spider-Man worked so well with Andrew Garfield because Andrew Garfield knew how to play Spider-Man.
Unfortunately...
But Tom Holland... Let me finish. Tom Holland... Same way that Smith said, Tom Holland gave you both. He gave you exactly who Peter Parker was, the awkward, super smart,
that's true,
socially inept
that's
Peter
true.
Parker. And then you also still got the quippy, smart alecky, confident Spider-Man. With so Tom Holland managed to really, at least in my opinion, manage to capture best of both worlds.
And yeah, to be honest, I didn't want Peter Parker until Tom Holland. Like Tobey Maguire, great. He's Peter Parker.
As Peter Parker, again, in my opinion, Peter Parker.
Yeah,
he was perfect as Peter Parker.
Perfect.
He was absolutely perfect Peter Parker.
And it wasn't until Tom Holland that I was like, oh,
this is actually what.
Well, that I even care what's happening to Peter Parker.
Oh.
Because in the first three, I was like, could you just be Spider-Man yet and start like flipping around like a spider? And then when Amazing Spider-Man came out, I was like, this is Spider-Man all the time. I'll take this. You're going to give me another one? I'll take it too.
Yeah, but...
don't know with the second one. I'm not like going for it. I'm just saying it was exactly what I wanted, which was Spider-Man.
Yeah, but the second one was so messy. It was so messy.
Look, I will watch any movie that Jamie Foxx is in, even
I know, but I feel like they wasted Jimmy Fox.
Jamie
Foxx. What did I just say? Jimmy Fox. My God, I apologize.
His cousin, who should have played it, because then Jamie could have done something else or been some other character. But they're like, hey, Jamie, be creepy, but dial it like what you think is weird, and just go. Just a little bit further.
And then he tried it, and they went, no, times that by 3.
Yeah. And we'll get it in post. What am I going to look like? Oh, you're going to look really cool. You're going to look like some kind of freaky, electrical dude. Oh, cool. I'm not going to look like Frankenstein's monster with a giant jutting forehead or anything, right? No. We'll get that thing. I'm just imagining him sitting in the theater going like, what did they do to me? No, the pitch was lightning from my hands, lightning from my hands. That probably.
Okay, we can't get into the DCEU. That's a whole other segment. But well, if we're still talking Spider-Man,
we're going back to what we haven't talked about in 10 minutes. No, I still didn't get her name. The whole time, for like 2 minutes after we talked about it, all I could think about was, how do I figure out the name? How do I figure out the name?
You have to think of someone calling her or saying her name, but I can't do that.
Here's what I did. Gamora,
You're freaking close, though. God, that sounded so familiar in my head.
No, it means nothing. I'm just saying.
No, I know, but when you were like, Morag, it was like, oh, no.
Yeah, we got nothing.
No, okay, just keep moving forward. I'm going to be stuck on that now forever.
Far From Home. He does go far from home.
It's so good, though. They did such a good job. Okay.
Let's start at the beginning.
At the very beginning?
Yeah.
Mysterio and all that stuff when they first meet?
Yeah. Well, okay, what did you think of the setup of Mysterio being from...
I totally bought it. I 100%.
Now, because you said something interesting during when we were watching the film. You said he was a bad guy with good intentions.
No, he was good for the wrong reasons.
Good for the wrong reasons. So you really believe that he was from another Earth?
I believed he was from another Earth, but what I initially thought was going to be the catalyst was that sacrifices have to be made. So my whole thing was he was going to be similar to kind of a lot of other tropes, which is the as long as we stop the monster, it doesn't matter how many people die.
For the layman at home, i.e. me, I'm gonna follow through. What's a trope?
You don't know what a trope is?
I mean, I think I understand the principle.
Think of it as a cliche.
Got it. See, that was.
But trope is just it's less. I guess you could think of it as a cliche that isn't necessarily frowned upon. So the hero story is a trope. The going through those same things, that's the kind of thing. So
it's like when you watch an action hero, you'll have a villain, you'll have a good guy. He might lose, but eventually he'll win.
And the ideals of the hero are always the same. You can look it up. But it's essentially like a cliche, but less frowned upon by everyone. But that's the trope: is the person who has gone so far beyond seeing good and evil that they're the only ones who believe they know what's right.
Yeah,
it's Thanos essentially. You can think of it that way: the person who believes they are doing right by doing unimaginable evil.
I really did like his powers.
They're all fake.
I know. But like, if we're sticking with like before we knew, like if we just like watched it, like when
that's why I bought it. That's why I totally bought it. I was kind of going like, if there, which is weird because as soon as the holograms happened, I went, right, of course, that's Mysterio. I keep forgetting that, because I remember reading in the comics and I remember watching in the old Spider-Man TV show and everything like that. Was Mysterio always using illusions? And I think he worked on movies. He always did the projector thing, and I think in one, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I thought that he used that gas that he emits or whatever as something to cause hallucinations and stuff like that. Kind of similar to
possibly
a DC villain, but in a different way.
Got it.
Yeah.
In my head, I said Joker first, but then I was like, "You're dumb," and then I was like, "I got it. But
in a similar way. That's what I might be wrong on that. Let me know if I'm wrong.
I just can't and this was talked about before by a couple of different people that they wanted that if Mysterio was going to be the guy that was going to be the villain, they wanted to see the globe, the helmet.
Oh, I love that.
They did such a good job.
No, everything about Mysterio
and
was handled with
good job, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh,
and good job, Marvel. Once again, you've chosen the perfect
cast.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I would have loved for him to be more of a recurring role, but when
I go through the movies, I go, who possibly but Robert Downey Jr. could have played Tony Stark? Who possibly but Chris Evans could have played Captain America?
Tom Cruise.
Captain America?
No. Tom Cruise
playing Tony Stark.
I
would have never gotten into the MCU, and no one would have ever gotten into the MCU.
There was, I'm sure it's still online.
The MCU would never have happened if that happened.
And I'm sure I can find it, or you could find it on your phone. But they did like.
As much as I actually enjoy. Just forgot his name.
Tom Cruise.
Thank you.
Potato chip.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As much as I enjoy, his
Mission
movies,
Impossible.
What I think of him personally as a person, I completely separate because I love his movies.
Yeah,
so.
He's the only actor. Not the only one, but he's the only one that's like, no, I want to do the real thing. No, but we can just... No, I want to do the real thing.
Well, not only that, when they tell him that he can't, he goes, okay, well, then I'll just make the movie myself so I can do the real thing.
I want to do a helo jump. No, you're worth too much to do a helo jump. I already did a helo jump. But you're not doing another helo jump.
Oh, I'm doing another helo jump.
I'm on the plane.
What I want to do is I want to hang off the side of the plane.
Did you see that photo of him with that video of him of his breaking his foot?
Yeah.
It's
not his foot. It's like this. It's his right here above his ankle.
Such a gnarly hit.
Yeah.
Spiderman. All right, we'll get there.
But like I said, think through all the casting. Was there one person who was cast in the MCU that you didn't think was perfect for the role?
No, they switched him out.
You don't even count that movie anyway.
I do so.
No, you don't.
No, oh, okay, Hulk.
Yeah.
I meant Rhodes. Rhodey. War Machine.
Sure. Oh, but I thought he would have been so good.
He would have been good, but you could tell he didn't want it.
Oh no, he wanted it. He just
Didn't want to be the side character.
Well, he didn't. He wanted too much money.
Money? No, I heard that he wanted. It's because he didn't want to be the sidekick. That was what I heard. You heard that it was more money? See, I love this. Because everybody. What's really true?
I don't know. I love Don Cheadle, so I don't really care.
I love Cucumber.
I'm not gonna risk butchering his name because I don't remember.
Gooding Jr. Something Gooding Jr.
He's now gonna have us on a hit list now.
About 50-50. He doesn't care about us.
From Empire, you know who he is.
He's gonna be like,
multi-millionaire.
yeah, he's not gonna. Our names aren't gonna get to us.
No,
our names are gonna get to us, not to him.
They did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I mean,
God, can Tom Holland act too? Oh my God.
Yeah, and you know what? That I don't care who you are. That's not an easy gig. Like, you don't sign, like, when you get the job that you're going to be Spider-Man in Marvel, like, it's one thing that you're like, hey, you're going to, like, Andrew Garfield, you're going to be the next Spider-Man. Wow, really? That's awesome. Hey, Tom Holland, you're going to be Spider-Man joining this Marvel universe that we've been setting up for the last couple of years. Each movie makes about $1 billion. Everyone's watching you. No big deal, right? Like, those are two different meetings. Like,
well, what's so great is that I feel the way that Peter acts within the movies, I feel that's how Tom Holland acted around all of them all the time.
Some of the really funny or some of the really great interviews that came out like right before this movie was with Jake Gyllenhaal and Tom Holland, and Jake is head over heels in love with Tom. Loves, and he even says, it's nerve-wracking to step into a world like this that has all these characters and all these actors.
Oh, and Jake did.
And Tom Holland apparently walked him through it and helped him out and was like,
Oh, that's hilarious.
Don't worry, man, I'm Spider-Man.
Dude. Tom Holland, he's such a good kid. He's such a good kid.
He's the type of guy you look at and you go, yeah, you're going to get that in real life. You might not get Peter Parker, but you're going to get a nice guy.
Yeah. You're going to get a genuine person.
Yeah, you're not going to get like that. You're going to get something pretty.
Same thing with Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth and
yeah. Chris Evans and Chris
Hemsworth is just going to be cracking jokes the entire freaking time.
I know we keep leaving Far From Home, but you say Chris Hemsworth and I just think Fat Thor, and it's just the most beautiful thing. It's just wonderful. I mean, it's Fat Thor, the biggest movie in the universe, and you make one of the sexiest men alive fat, giving all the dads a chance at life.
Not even a dad bod. Like that was
Lebowski.
That was Lebowski. That was beer belly central.
When that scene,
I was terrified at first when I first saw that, actually.
Oh.
It actually freaked me out. I remember in the theater and seeing that going, oh no. And then he started talking and I was like, oh yes.
The person, the people I was with, they're like, he's not going to be fat the whole movie.
Oh.
He'll be fat the whole movie. A lot of people were like, "Oh, when he gets the thunder and
that it was gonna make him
skinny." And everyone was like, "What?"
I love that it just bearded his, braided his beard.
It made him more Norse, God looking.
Yeah,
like I was like,
hilarious.
Yeah, and continue. So good. Okay, Spider-Man. What was those teachers?
So You're going to have to be asking me questions because this is the first time that I've seen it, but you've seen it how many times now?
A lot. I don't know. Okay, so, well, here's the thing. So we went and saw it in theaters, and then when the DVD came out, like, I should know this off the top of my head, last Tuesday, I want to say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, October 4th. I knew it was up there. When we went, so I didn't buy it, and I pre-order it. Like usually, like when I walked out of Endgame, I bought Endgame. And I was like, that's a must. I do that with almost all the Marvel films, but for this one, I was like, like I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I just was like, nah, I can wait, and to be honest, this was not. I think
you forgot about it.
Well, I did a little bit because it kind of fell on finals, and so I got kind of swept away with school stuff. And then must have been like, I think it was last night or the night before. I was peacefully on the cusp of serenity and sleep like you have never witnessed before. I had turned on ocean waves in the background, really set the mood for just pure peace after I'd finished my project. Pure serenity. And the door opens. And I get awoken from my slumber. To get taken to buy Spiderman, you ask? No. Ulta Beauty. Yeah. Hey! Hey! What? You want to go on an adventure? Not really. Do you not hear the oceans crashing? This is as peaceful as you can be. Yeah. But Ulta closes at 9. It's 8:35. I'm like, are you out of your mind? So I get up, get dressed as you do, and we go to Ulta, and she's like, and we go to Ulta, and we had realized that Best Buy, they're like right next door to each other. That they both close at 9. And so we're like, after we go, hopefully we can finish up here at Ulta, hurrah, and then we can go to Best Buy. And
what is Ulta Beauty?
It's makeup,
cosmetics. Okay.
Yeah, it's like Sephora.
Okay.
You been to a Sephora?
I have, only to shop for my cousins.
I've been to so many Sephoras, I can't even.
It's a little bit intimidating.
When I went to Hawaii, I spent more time in a Sephora than I spent on the beaches in Hawaii.
We're spending more time on this conversation than Spider-Man.
I know, but but I just want you to imagine you're in Hawaii and every corner you turn, or I was just so confused that I was led to the same store over and over. Hey, do you want to go into the Sephora? How in the hell? How is this here? We were just in one. Look, another one. Are you kidding me? I think we were just coming in from multiple angles. And there were like 2 entrances. I digress. Anyways. So I'm thinking, after all this, I'm getting Spider-Man.
Okay.
So we go in. We're those horrible people you like come in at the last few minutes when you're trying to close up. It's like 8:55. It's like the guy's like having the metal door like halfway. He's like, oh. He gave up. He's like, come in, welcome. Can I help you find anything? Like the exit. He didn't say that, but you knew he said it.
I would have loved if you said that.
So we went and got it, and we went to the checkout, and the person I was with goes, I have gift cards. I'm like, of course you have gift cards. This person holds on the gift cards like you wouldn't believe, like years. Like, because she doesn't think it's a real gift, so she doesn't use it. I won't get into it. I'm just saying. So we're in there, and she goes, "Oh, I've got gift cards. Just grab one." I'm like, how much are on them? I don't know. It's like a grab bag. You don't know how much. Have you used them? I don't know. So I could get up here and present 2 gift cards that have $0 on them. So we get up there, charge one, had like $8, so that one was mostly used. And I was like, great, this is looking good for number 2. Slid number 2, it had $25. Paid for the whole movie. And I go, why is that sticking out in my head? $25 to Best Buy. And she goes, "Oh, that was the gift card you gave me 4 years ago. Aren't you glad you gave it to me?" Yes. I'm glad that we kept it for 4 years, that I got to buy Far From Home 4 years later. Thank you.
Hey, you know what? It's just like the Thanos rat.
But look, at the end of the day, when I was woken up, I was asked to go on an adventure. I don't know if I count that as an adventure, but now we get to sit here and talk about Far From Home, which we haven't done. It gives us the opportunity to talk about a movie that I love. I've been saving that story for a while. Okay, so.
Yes, you've got to bombard me.
What did you think? What did you think of the teachers?
Just useless. Just so utterly useless.
I mean, no, but they're comic relief.
Well, yeah, I mean, what's his name? Man of Science and Witches. I mean, I love him so much. Oh, God. Just his whole life is just terrible.
What shift do you want to take? Shift 1 or 2? How about 3? I just took an Ambien. You can't expect me to watch all these kids the whole time. Peter has a cologne allergy. We have to
spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. Very much spoilers. Okay, but okay, what did you think of switching? Because we'll just talk about their funny comments throughout. Because they provided good comic relief, and I'm glad that they weren't not used.
Do you want to watch the video?
What video?
No, the teacher. You want to watch the video of my wife leaving with that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you have a dual headphone jack. We can watch it together. I thought my wife blipped out on me. Turns out she ran away. We have the funeral on film.
I had a fake funeral for her and everything. Well, the funeral was real. Oh, God, so terrible.
What? Here's the question. Did you think that Nick Fury was Nick Fury? Because I'll say what I will say in a second. Like, what did you think of Nick Fury?
I should have known from the beginning.
He kind of played it. Now
he did.
Like Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, but he immediately gives it away in one part, and I didn't freaking catch it.
You don't catch it at all.
I know, but it should have. I should have caught that.
But you kind of feel like, I feel like he was playing Samuel L. Jackson.
He was.
Yeah, like
he was. He's playing Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. That's what he's doing.
That was so... Because the whole time I'm watching and I'm like, look, there's no way. Like, Nick Fury's, one, smart enough to know this isn't real.
Also, Nick Fury is not going to be forcing a kid into this stuff.
That was going to be my next point. My first point was...
There was always something off. I'm going like...
He's
Nick
being
Fury,
a little bit too... Tony Stark, because
Tony Stark and pushing a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
When he already didn't want Spider-Man.
Yeah.
When that was happening, I'm going like, is that really him? I'm like, there was always something off, but I never questioned it. There was just always something off.
Because you also are like, it's Samuel Jackson. That's
Just,
the problem. That is like, they played it. Wait a minute. No, that's stupid. I'm not going to say it.
There's one thing that he would never say that he does say. Besides forcing a 16-year-old into this. But he does say, he says the one thing that I should have caught and didn't. And only got it after everything. Do not invoke her name.
Oh.
I should have caught that.
That was a good
one.
From
the moment he said that, I laughed because I thought it was funny, and it never occurred to me. I'm going,
sense.
Nick Fury would have never said that.
It made complete, like, I know, but I mean, that's the problem when you have Samuel Jackson.
You just love Samuel. It's Samuel
you
Jackson.
just
You're just watching Samuel Jackson.
Plus, there are times when you're like, okay, that ain't Nick Fury.
And then there are other times where you're like, okay, that's Nick Fury.
Like at the end when he's like, oh, they're sucking up the planet's core, and he goes, well, now that's a bunch of bullshit.
Well, the part when she goes off, and he goes, you got me, and she blows up the thing right in front. I'm going, yep, that's
yep.
Damn it. Totally freaking got us. Every time. Every freaking time. But think of it this way. Nick Fury never would have had the wool pulling over his eyes.
Yeah. That was
Nick Fury would have known.
He would have known.
He would have known.
He totally would have known that Beck was and let's just talk about that for a second. Update the persona.
You believe him so
like you do, but the
again,
way you
like my prediction,
it,
my prediction, I was only partially right.
Yeah,
I was only partially.
I
right.
thought you were gonna get.
I still thought the whole multi-universe thing. I thought they would have played that because that would have been that would have been really cool. And again, it would have made sense that he was still a sham, but from a different world.
And a perfect way to get the mutants with Marvel, if you have the multiverse.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a possibility.
Well, sort of, but here's the thing. The only way now to actually get them in, because that's not a thing yet anyway, the only way to get them in now is with a reboot.
Well, it has to be. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be, but again, going off subject of Far From Home.
Again.
If the teasers are right and we're getting Submariner as the villain for Black Panther, the Earthquakes Under the Sea, he is supposed to be one of the first mutants. So they're going to have to explain how there are mutants if they are going to stick with Submariner being a mutant, because they don't have to. He can still be Submariner. He can still have all the abilities.
Against who?
Black Panther.
Okay.
The in Endgame, when they're talking about the earthquakes under the water, like, well, what do we do about that? Nah, it's an earthquake under the water. We do nothing. Come on, like what else do you do? But that's supposed to be the Submariner.
Okay.
I believe that's his name. I'm 99.8% sure, but you know.
I don't know why that sounded like someone from the DC universe.
Yeah. I did just watch Aquaman. Like, I literally had Aquaman on.
When you said it, I was like, wait a minute, are we talking about Aquaman now? Hold on.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the Submariner.
I hope to God you're right.
I'm pretty sure.
Are you?
I don't know. Now that I mention it, I did totally watch Aquaman like 2 or 3 days ago. Actually, could have been sooner than that.
Oh, no. Oh, God. They're going to hate us.
Nah. Nah. I've been funny enough.
Pray to God you have been.
Now I am.
But, okay, getting back to
Witches.
Far From Home.
Being from a man of science. Witches.
He doesn't say it is witches, he just says witches.
Yeah, witches. Like, being a man of science, you're thinking, yeah, come on, follow through. Witches. Don't hang up on Nick Fury. Don't ghost Nick Fury. I don't want to talk to him. If you don't talk to him, I gotta talk to him. Happy.
Oh, I loved him.
John Favreau, just keep coming back. Like, he's one of the few humans you're like.
He's just a big teddy bear.
He really is.
He's a big teddy bear. I love him. I keep going back. I'm like, God, he used to be a professional fighter at one point. I'm like, Jesus.
And he kicked this whole thing off.
I know.
Robert Downey Jr.
I know.
It's just so crazy that we went from there
to Spider-Man. We actually got Spider-Man in the MCU.
Yeah, we
That's
got him apart.
That's the craziest part.
For standalones, let alone, but for them to have these collaborative movies and now be able to play with all these sorts of characters, you just wonder where they're going to...
It's something that had never been done before.
I know, and as much faith, and they'll do excellent and wonderful, but this is lightning in a bottle. Phase 1 through 3 is the most lightning in a bottle you will ever have.
Yep.
That is.
Well, this is why I say that you will forever be a Marvel fanatic.
Oh, for sure.
But
I will cherish Phase 1, 2, and 3.
Phase 4 is just, it's not going to be the same.
No. It'll be fantastic.
And because it can't be.
Yeah.
There's
and
just no way it can be.
And it should definitely become some... If
it's able to actually pull off its own thing, then fantastic. I have misgivings about a lot of the movies that are coming out in Phase 4, but we'll come to that when we do.
That lineup just,
I know.
I'll just look at me. I'll get all excited about it.
I have so many misgivings about a few of them. That's another video.
Oh, I know, but okay. All right, I'll get back to it. Just pull myself back in.
Okay, so we talked about the teachers.
We talked about teachers.
We talked about Mysterio. God, he was good. If you think about it, well, no. You can't really say that because Mysterio existed before. I was going to say it's the same character as Syndrome. From The Incredibles. Same character plot. It's someone who feels cheated and wronged by a person they looked up to. And now that person's gone, or at least out of the picture.
Him.
Yeah, and shamed him.
Like that, but yes, I wanted to talk about this because I thought it was really cool. And of course, it's Disney, it's Marvel.
The thing is, I really have to now go back and watch
Civil War.
They
keep doing it to you.
I have to go back and see that because if he's there, it will blow my mind. If they thought that far ahead, like if you somehow just for a split second, just for 3 frames or something like that, you see Jake somewhere off to the side.
I doubt it.
That would be unbelievable.
I doubt it, but I love that they tied it into the whole barf thing. And that it was a part of... And especially... Now, let's talk about that. Because it's not just Mysterio who's the bad guy.
No, it's all of them.
But
I don't know... My whole... I had a problem with that particular scientist going bad.
Yeah, because Tony really didn't do anything.
Tony didn't do anything to him. Tony was just that much better.
Yeah.
And it was Obadiah Stane.
But I guess... Well, I don't know. I guess he's bad, but the same...
We're going to build this in a cave.
Yeah,
We're about to
I almost
scram.
wonder if he felt like that was coming from
Tony?
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know how you could assume it would because it was all Deep Six.
I don't
Project
think so.
11.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
But but there's a possibility that Obadiah chose that doctor because the doctor already had something against Tony to begin with. And that only furthered it when he was totally blasted in front of his whole crew that he's nothing like Tony Stark, that he's garbage, and that could have been the final catalyst. Like now I really hate that guy.
It was a brilliant plot to use.
Yeah,
in the movie, it worked. Totally worked.
I mean, the whole security defense system thing.
That
I figured, before you say anything, I figured that you had a problem with it.
Yep.
Yep. I don't know how I knew. I don't know why I knew. I just had a feeling.
I had one problem with it, which was... Well,
you needed an Avenger level threat.
I know. My one problem with it was...
Even dead, I'm the hero?
No. I loved that. Come on. I loved that. That's so Tony Stark. That was a perfect little, cheeky, thing for him to have one last laugh with. I thought that was brilliant. The one problem I had with it was the exact same plot point had been used in... Winter Soldier. I think it's Winter Soldier.
What plot point?
The global defense system. Do you remember the carriers all of a sudden having those guns that could target anyone in the world? Every facial recognition software noticing anybody and everything.
Yeah.
That was the one problem I had with it, was that it was a reused thing and something that I don't think Tony would have done. Although, I have to kind of back off on that a little bit because Tony had already done it once before, and that was why we got Ultron. So
that was his version of...
Well, he took the AI out of it.
Yeah. Well, of course he did.
And what was also brilliant and why I still... Which is now... In retrospect, that I look at it again, just thinking about it now after seeing it, one reason I actually think it works here is because, of course, Tony is only going to trust that to Peter.
Yeah. And do you think that Peter was right in thinking that, that the note was for... he trusted him to find the next Tony Stark?
Yes. I still think that is correct.
The case.
But Tony still thinks it's him.
So you think when all is said and done, he's supposed to grow into the glasses?
Yes.
And choose himself?
Yes. He's such a good person and a morally ethical person, Peter Parker, that as soon as he feels he's ready, he'd be able to actually take them. But he's smart enough to know when he's not ready. But again, that is why he gave them up in the first place, because he knew he couldn't handle it.
Yeah. Peter Dingle.
Oh God. I really wish that someone had just mentioned it at some point, that it was a Spidey sense. Not him saying it, but someone else saying it, offhandedly. Maybe give it to MJ.
Or give it to
at some
Mysterio.
point. Or that.
You give it to him. But yeah. But I didn't.
What's
you
really
can dodge
sad?
bullets, but not a banana?
Well, here's what's really... Yeah, no, that was hilarious. What's really sad, though, about it being called that is the sexual connotations of it. What's another word for that area, the gentleman.
They pointed that out in a different way too. I don't know if you when he's in the what I'm gonna call it, the night monkey suit.
Yeah.
And he's on the ledge waiting for the monster to arrive, or the elemental.
Elemental.
He goes, or Nick Fury goes, "Hey, how'd the suit turn out? Did it fit?" And he goes, "It's a little tighter on the web shooter." He's like, "Hey, we don't have time for that." Yeah.
Oh God, he called it a web shooter. Oh Jesus.
So it's there. Don't.
That went over my head. I went to these. I should have realized.
Yeah.
God, there was so much happening in this movie without it being cluttered, which was so crazy. So much was happening all the time, but it never felt rushed or too much too quick or smashed together.
What did you think of them showcasing Peter Parker with Spider-Man's abilities without him in the suit?
I loved that.
In Venice.
I loved that. I thought that was cool. Great. Because that's who Peter Parker is.
Yeah, and it's nice. It's nice.
Literally, Spider-Man is Peter Parker with confidence. That's who Spider-Man actually is.
Yeah, because when he puts on the mask, he gets to be somebody else.
Well, he can now allow himself. He won't be judged.
Yeah.
The mask allows him to not be judged.
Cool. I know they were just illusions, but until we found out, I really liked the idea of the elementals.
I did too. I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah, I thought those are, and they stick because they that is from the comics. I don't know in what form, and I think two of them were a little bit different than the elementals, but still, I would have bought it through and through.
Well, what I thought was great about that whole illusion thing was the actual destruction.
Yeah,
real looking illusions with actual destruction. That was brilliant, and using the weapons of the drones to be causing the destruction in such a way that it looked like the monsters doing it. That
using the shockwaves to make the water
that
pulse.
Was brilliant.
Yeah,
that was so smart.
But you realize something like that, it takes the whole team, and for a while, because the really intricate or the really kind of trippy moments is when it's just Mysterio versus Spider-Man, and he's pulling off all these one-off illusions right in front of him, right after another.
God.
To the point where you even believe that it's Nick Fury that saves him.
No.
And that was the other thing. They crafted those illusions so well. Not just in the sense of us watching them. I'm talking about from in the movie's perspective.
Oh yeah, you think
he creates such a story.
Yep.
You're going even if you're watching the movie going, it's an illusion. You go, is it though?
Yeah, no, it.
And then you go, okay. That's is it though?
You want to talk about some of the best CGI just period. This movie,
good stuff.
The whole building.
Scene.
Oh my God!
Was
that? God,
that
I was so taken by that.
I was not expecting, and neither were you, Iron Man's tombstone. Let alone for him.
That was so mean. Oh God!
That I was like, they're doing that right now.
Oh my God! It was just so. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And
little tribute.
Well, here's the thing: is the whole time that's happening, though, I'm going Spidey sense, man. Spidey sense. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Don't pay attention to anything. Just sense everything.
But it's not working.
And then at the end, when they show him doing that, him using that is the most real we have ever seen the spider sense imagined.
Especially for we see little bits and we kind of it'll be a slow-mo shot, but we've never seen continuous action of him using and learning.
Well, and then showing what I loved was that they kind of did it as almost like a pulse thing, where all of a sudden part of the illusion would disappear because he would sense what was there all of a sudden. Oh God, that was absolutely.
Don't know how they did that.
Done so well.
But
that was so good.
Super good.
Yeah.
Just that. I was so, because even with the illusions, you're going, well, it's still kind of entertaining to see the big monster with the fire and the water and the waves and things blowing up, and like the drones are
but
cool,
at the same time, with those particular things, I'm going like, how does Spider-Man fight that?
Yeah. Like when the water guy shows up and he's like, oh.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. What did when he first meets Mysterio? I'm strong and sticky. Like, imagine if you were like if he was actually Mysterio, like not Mysterio trying to convince Peter to be his friend to get his glasses, blah 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 blah, but like actually the superhero in that story, and you're going, dude's made out of water. What are you sticky? You're just gonna slip right off? Like, get out of here, kid! Like, I got some work to do.
I've got powers.
Yeah, I got lasers or whatever comes out of my hands. I don't need your stickiness.
I thought it was interesting that he. It was a really smart move to make his powers kind of look like Doctor Strange. That was really smart because you then go thinking, is this another?
What did they say? What didn't they say? They said he looked like Iron Man and...
Well, in the movie, they only said Doctor Strange and Thor combined.
Yeah. That's all right.
I thought all three, so...
Beck got Iron Man, like, he got Tony Stark. He got half Iron Man.
Yeah.
He got half.
But, God, does he... He totally makes you feel that Peter's doing the right thing with giving him the glasses.
Oh, 100%.
Especially constantly
like,
saying no.
Yeah. And even when he gets it, you think like he really feels like this weight has been given to him. He's like, thank you.
It was and that's what was so great.
And
about
then as soon as the door shuts, wasn't so hard, was it?
That's phenomenal acting. Just phenomenal acting.
Yeah. It just makes you excited for when they finally pick Keanu Reeves or something.
It's not going to happen.
Oh.
And
they're
all of a sudden, what would have to happen is John Wick shows up in this movie, in these movies somehow. That's the only way that you could get Keanu Reeves in here, and I would like him in here.
And
only because
don't you worry, folks. We'd be talking about John Wick at some point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna talk about till I'm 60. They'll keep making John Wick. He'll be 90 with a walker. He'll have blades come out and just stab.
Those movies, oh my God.
John Wick. I don't know why when Keanu Reeves is so old he stutters apparently, but it's an old stutter. Jean Wick.
And apparently he now has a Russian accent as well. Jean Wick.
Das Vidania. Jean Wick.
Jordani. Another sidetrack note.
We do this.
What else have you got for me?
Okay. Else also in the pipeline. Should we talk about him getting to build his own suit?
Oh, I loved that.
I just remember he looked up and he goes, he's building his own suit? Tell me he's building his own suit. Hell yeah, he's building his own suit. Don't worry, I got the music. I love Led Zeppelin.
I loved it. I loved it so much.
And Happy. He just sells it so much.
Because he sees
looking at
Tony.
That, he
sees
like,
Tony.
And it was he did it so well. You just the face. Like, it's really hard to just with the face pour that much emotion.
Well, because you see his eyes redden.
Yeah, it's just
but in in the happy way. His eyes redden, but in the exceedingly proud way.
I'm in love with Spider-Man, Zach. I thought we were sharing. What is this dude talking about?
Oh god! Some sweaty guy was with us in a vault. Apparently works for you.
You work for Spider-Man? No. With Spider-Man. No.
God, I love that.
And that whole
We love you, Jon Favreau. We love you. Big hearts.
I don't know why, but just look. I'll do this to Marvel all day, but come on.
You'll do that to Disney all day.
This isn't going to be a thing because I'll be doing this every time we turn this thing on. But for now, we're going to live with it.
Oh god, just
good.
What I loved was it was. Yes, it's a little bit cheating. That scene is a little bit cheating, but it's worthwhile cheating.
What?
Him building his own suit.
Oh.
It's cheating because it is 100% taking from the first Iron Man when he scraps his original design and builds the Mach.
Yeah, but it's
the Mach 2. No. What does he say? What's he call it? The
Mark 1?
When he builds the Mark 2. Because remember the Mark 1 is the one that he uses to get out. When he builds the Mark 2 and watching him use all the 3-dimensional stuff and then stick his arm into something, remember? And then Peter does the exact same thing. He sticks his hand into the web shooter to I loved it.
Yeah, it was,
I thought that was great. That was tasteful homage to the movie that started everything.
And what the other thing that just like the costumes the multiple suits is
that was interesting.
Before this, after I believe it was after the Homecoming came out, a Spider-Man came out on PlayStation.
Yeah, which was supposed to be amazing. I didn't buy it. I apologize for those of you who think I should have bought it.
So good. I played it. Beat it.
Of course you did.
Twice. Maybe 3 times. I don't know. But in that game, you unlock suits.
And you get all those different suits?
Yes. There's definitely the Iron Man suit.
What was that middle suit?
Which one?
It was like it was on the left side of the Iron Man one. The Iron Spider.
I think I know what you're talking about. I can pull it up. I'll pull it up next time. But it looked
black. It looked like a black suit.
There's a
like
couple
black
of
and
different
white
ones. But these ones are cool because the one in that. So what happens is in the game, as you level up, you unlock the suit, and each suit has its own
special
power. Yes, ability.
Okay.
Like one of them has like gyros that like help with like movement and stabilization. There's one that like makes him go into like not like.
I feel like Spider-Man himself should be able to do that.
Yeah, but these are like they just help with movement. I don't know. It's for game fluidity. I don't know. That was a good flow of words. Pat myself on the back for no apparent reason. Moving forward. But I thought for someone, and probably for the people who had also played the game, because that was the one thing we loved about the game. Because I mean, the graphics out of this world.
Well, I remember watching a gameplay on it, and there's no way any of the villains or any of the guys that he's fighting survive any single hit from him ever.
You're swinging through the most beautiful New York has ever been. There's Avengers Tower that you get to swing all over. I mean, it's just. I
remember playing the Spider-Man 2 game when that came out for the PlayStation 2.
The fighting in this game is so much fun. Like the spider sense is so much fun. Like at one point, you get an ability where every time like you do a dodge move on somebody, it shoots a web right into their face. what more could you ask for? You just dodge so you can shoot somebody in the face. You don't even beat him up. You're just like, no, try and hit me again so I can shoot you in the face. Like, this is awesome. I'll do this all day.
Just a little sidetrack thing here for fighting with Spider-Man and stuff like that. I remember in what was it? Civil War, when Spider-Man first gets introduced, and Tony says that Cap was going easy on him. Who tells him that Cap if Cap really wanted, he could have just like demolished him? Was it Tony? I think it was Tony.
I don't know if it was Tony. I thought no, that was when Black Widow and Hawkeye were fighting. They were like, "You're pulling your punches," and then
Pretty sure it's Tony. Either way, he gets told that Captain America could have, annihilated him at any time if he wanted to and stuff like that. And I remember thinking to myself when I heard that, because in real side note here, there was a YouTube channel called Death Battle, which I loved. I loved their videos and stuff like that. They did a couple of things. They did Spider-Man versus Batman, Batman versus Captain America. In their videos, Spider-Man beats Batman for one reason alone. And that's his spider sense. The one reason he beats Batman. And then with Batman versus Captain America, Batman demolishes him. And one big reason they actually showed that was because in a crossover comic series, Captain America and Batman are actually having a conversation, and oh god, I think Captain America says something along the lines of I think I could take you, or something like that. I'd have to look it up again. You guys can watch the video, actually, and you'll be able to see what the actual conversation is. And Batman's response is, you could try. Essentially. And like, someone does something and they figure out that like maybe 1 out of 10 times Captain America could actually beat Batman, but just in terms of overall skill and everything like that, just Batman outpaces him and everything else.
And between Spider-Man and Captain America?
I think I went off of that. I went off of what Tony said, like Captain America would just demolish Spider-Man. So then in my head I went like, so what? All of a sudden we've got a rock, paper, scissors thing going here where Spider-Man can beat Batman, Batman can beat Captain America, and Captain America can beat Spider-Man. Real side tangent. A little bit slower with that video, but it was just a weird thing. I just remember that, happening in my head after I saw Civil War. I'm just going like, huh. Just a weird little thing.
Well, I think also Spider-Man fights Batman in a different way than he fights Captain America.
Well, how would you?
Because with Spider-Man, you don't know Batman. If Batman's coming to attack you, that's an enemy. You're gonna fight.
Well, yes.
When he fights Captain America, he knows Captain America's a good guy. He's not gonna go and just try and like pulverize him. He might try and slow him down or stop him from whatever Mr. Stark is telling him to do. But I don't think he ever fights Captain America with any veracity or uses any of his I don't think he goes all out. Like, he goes all out against Batman every time he doesn't know who Batman is. And even if he did, he's a creepy guy in a Batcave.
Well, also, you could also take
Not
it
saying
this
Batman is bad. I'm just saying if you're Spider-Man, you think he's a bat in a cave.
But you could also take it this way, too. Is like, if you take Spider-Man in his absolute prime, he probably kicks every Avenger's butt.
Except for Thor and the Hulk.
I think he could take Thor only because I think by that time he'd be worthy of Mjolnir or whatever, of any of them. Because I'd be willing to bet that he could become worthy, similar to Captain America.
Oof, I don't know about that.
I'm saying this is years later. But I'm saying this particular.
And MJ's left him.
Not that Peter Parker, but the one from Miles' universe. Yeah, I think that particular Peter Parker could have been worthy.
So not fat, eating a pizza.
No.
Came close. I love that Spider-Man.
That's another video we will do Into the Spider-Verse for sure. 100%.
Yeah. We'll probably talk about 1,800 other things like we did in this one, but we'll get it. We'll get there.
Yeah, just rambling idiots, though. I mean, that's why.
Look, come on. I mean, this is what you signed up for. As you didn't sign up for. We signed up for.
But this is what you clicked on.
That's true. And unclick. Ah, come back. No, wait. No, there's more. They've unclicked. Could you imagine if there's you unclick a video and just for a brief they get 5 seconds to win you back over. You unclick and all of a sudden that would suck for you guys right now. If you unclicked and then all of a sudden my face came back for 5 seconds no really. Come back. Come. And then we ended it. That would be cold.
Well, do you have any more for me on this one? I have nothing that I can jolt this for. Like I already said in the very beginning, Mary Jane is a different Mary Jane. She's not the same Mary Jane.
Oh, but a good one.
But I loved her.
I had it right the first time. I said Ned, Ted, Ed, and then I went back to Ned. Ned.
You want to know the funny thing? You doing that just gave me her name.
Gamora.
Nebula.
I was on the right track.
You were.
See, 30 minutes ago, I was just saying the same name over and over again. The second time I tried something similar to that, I used the same name but started cutting off letters. I told you we'd get there. I didn't say the road.
No,
would be fun.
but it was only because you said Ned, and I went.
What were we talking about?
I'm gonna love Ned anyway.
What?
I love Ned.
Oh yeah, Ned.
Ned's fantastic.
Nebula.
And I loved the little couple that they did with him during the whole thing because nothing went weird with it, nothing went ridiculous, and it didn't end terribly in some horrible fight. So I loved every aspect of that whole entire relationship.
When you go on a journey like that, you remember the adventure. You always have that. You are so wise. You're like, what?
Oh no, I loved how that. Oh,
when they're on the plane and that and they hold hands and you're like,
I saw as soon as I said that immediately out loud because I was like,
as soon as they get off the plane, he's like, what happened to Bachelors in Europe? That was a boy.
That was coming from a boy.
I am a man
who met a woman.
Who met a woman.
A very strong, powerful woman. And now that boy's a man.
This is the same guy who then gets Trank Dark.
I don't know. Oh,
Nick
God.
Fury.
Not Nick Fury.
Not Nick Fury. Oh! I know we talked about it, but come on. They give you, by far, and I loved Homecoming, but the best Spider-Man movie I have seen yet. They give you, it's action-packed, it's got comedy, it's got romance.
Raimi is always going to have a special place in my heart just because launched the superhero genre into modern cinema. You can't even say the same about, you know, the Batman movies or the Superman movie. Superman was just Superman.
Yeah, that's true.
That didn't cause anything and the Batman movies were
didn't think
campy
when you thought
you thought Superman
or Batman.
No,
those two characters are
it was
Superman
literally they were their
Batman.
own things. They were their own separate things.
1000%.
So then Raimi's Spider-Man comes out, and what happens? It becomes one of the for the time it was the highest grossing movie of all time.
I thought
X-Men. Not including inflation.
I thought X-Men was like the kickoff of like superhero movies.
No, it helped,
but it came out before.
I said it helped.
Alright.
Spider-Man was the one that really launched it because Spider-Man became Spider-Man 2 actually was the highest grossing film of all time, not accounting for inflation.
Is that the one with the gap
with Doc Ock?
Well, with Doc Ock, but no, you're gonna think this reference is even worse. I'm going small. I chose like the one person in that movie who was in the film for like 20 seconds. Not even 20. 20 seconds is given too much credit to this person that I've already talked about way too long and haven't even told who they are.
Stanley.
No, it's worse than that. It's worse than that.
Because that's one of the first Stanley cameos.
Is that the one with I think it's a chick. I don't think it's a dude either. Now I'm thinking about it. Playing the violin, singing the Spider-Man song. There is in a subway.
No, that's the first one, and it's the Asian chick and she's plucking the strings.
Yeah,
Spiderman. Yeah, no, that's that one. We should all give him just one big hug. I love that guitarist. So funny.
I went deep.
But the Raimi Spider-Man movies are always going to have a special place in superhero cinema for me, always. Yeah. Especially with that freaking opening. Oh my god. The opening.
Whip, fly, shoot, ha, he, wah.
Up and away, web.
Up and away. Ha.
Yeah, he goes, what does he say? He goes, go web. Fly. Up and away, web.
Good times. Good Spider-Man all around.
But yeah. Like that's what allowed this to even happen in the first place.
And what a journey it's all... I mean, it's crazy. And I know some people don't think it's like real cinema or whatever, but who cares? It's glorious.
It's 100% real
Whether you
cinema.
think it's cinema or not cinema, it's some of the most
How do you define cinema if you can't think that this is cinema? I mean, how are you possibly defining that?
Weirdos. That's not true. You can all have your own opinion. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good in the shack. Whatever you want.
No,
it's your cake, man. Eat it, or don't, or throw it away, or get another slice.
I loved it.
Like, you know, it's all Gucci.
Yep, it was fantastic.
0. If you had to give it a rating, 0 out of what was that?
No, 0 it's like a solid 9.7.
Now, if you guys all remember
so
what he said
hard.
about Star Wars,
that's a -3. I may have said worse or in the first video. I can't remember exactly. I still think I said negative something though.
Well, you were pretty heated. We get that one.
I was angry. And I'm such a fun-loving guy, and I can't do it.
We know not to make that mistake again. Although, if we continue this like you say, and you said that
oh man,
he looked at me before this, and he goes, I'm going to have to watch stuff that I don't like. And I looked at him and I was like, 1,000% you're going to have to watch stuff you don't like. I will keep making you watch it and watch it and watch it and watch it.
So terrible.
He's gonna be watching Batwoman. He doesn't want to watch Batwoman.
I really don't.
But we gonna be talking. It's got potential. No spoilers, because it just came out, but it's got potential. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying the show is the first episode, season 1. It has potential if they do it right. It's got the elements of a show.
I'm just saying it's cocked.
Although,
not saying I'm firing yet, but I'm saying it's cocked.
I do kind of feel like they're going, hey, now that Arrow's gone, let's create a bunch of lady shows. You got Batwoman, you've got... I know, they're doing... And I'm not upset about
this doesn't bug me because you have Wonder Woman, you have Hot Girl, you have a crap ton of female heroes. You don't need to make a Batwoman. And you even have Batgirl. She already exists.
And I think we're at a place where you don't...
Okay, I'm not getting angry. I'm going to not be angry.
Well, the only thing that I'm going to say is you don't need a balance. You don't need to be like, oh, there's not enough girl shows, let's make a much. Or, oh, there's not enough...
No, and that's my point, though. But that's my point. Is that you're deciding to take... You know what? I'm not even going to say it. Oh. That'll be in a different video. That'll be in an angry video of mine. Because I'm going to be angry for that one.
You know, though, that there are some people at home going, get angry. Come on.
I'm going... There's going to be plenty of...
We liked what you said about Star Wars.
There's going to be plenty of me.
Of course, there's a lot of people on my side going, we don't like what you said about Star Wars.
Well... I'm just gonna hold that one thing that happened when I started describing how this movie could have worked, and you went, "Huh, yeah," and then you had to get upset and go, "You can't write about a movie." I'm going to hold that forever.
You got me.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're all good. We'll see you guys in the next video. Yes, I said that already.
I'm just kidding. That's how you pull them back in, because right now they unclick, and all they get back is Nebula, and they go, oh, snap, and they come back. I'm sorry.
We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.